Hey there, time travelers. Welcome to this week's episode of not Time Capsule, but Talk Capsule. As you know, I'm Joenrhuz.
I'm Joerenz.
And I'm Vanessa.
And today, the three of us talked about it right before we started recording. We're going to be talking about friendships in general, the good, the bad, the toxic, the non-toxic. So where do we get started today?
So, how should we kick this off?
Well, what are friendships? Like, how would you define friendships, Vanessa?
Well, I guess someone who was like, that's a good question though. Oh my God.
It's funny. We're always asking people the questions, but now we're asking each other questions.
This is kind of funny because on the internet, so many people are like, oh, I'm looking for the real ones, or like, who are my real friends and stuff like that. But if you can't even define what a friend is, how you gonna know who a real friend is or a fake friend?
That's true.
Kind of
but I it's at the tip of my tongue, but it just for me, it's just very, very hard to explain it. But I guess briefly, what I believe personally for me, I guess I would say someone who's always there for you, who's very loyal to you, and who's always at your side whenever you're like, for example, if you are having some trouble in your life and you'd like someone to talk to, and that person's always there for you. So that's what I think.
I agree. Like through the thick and thin, and you know, no friendship is perfect. I think that there's always going to be some disagreements, but then it's part of your friendship to talk about it and be able to resolve something together, right?
Lord knows how many fights I've been in.
No kidding. Same here.
No, but
I mean, we get in a lot of fights too. I mean, I have to live with this guy. Like, think about that. Is that quote, like friends by choice or brothers by?
No, brothers by chance, friends by choice.
Or like that Disney show.
Live and Maddie?
Yeah.
Except we're not twins.
I mean, we can kind of pass off it. When we were little, we used to like switch places and people would think we're like, they couldn't tell us apart. We can't do that anymore, but we sometimes do that over the phone and people will mix us up still. And it's so fun.
Okay, I was in that spot. When I was in MPP. I would always get guys confused.
Really? I mean, back then, like I was chubby when I was younger, so it was. Well, Vanessa, you knew us since like the earlier days. That's when our friendship started. Like, I think I met you in drama practice.
We were for MPP. We were like, we didn't mention before, but we were in theater also in grammar in elementary school as well. So
thespians.
But I think I met you through one of our friends, Loriana. I'm not sure if that's correct.
I thought it was David.
I'm pretty sure it was Loriana.
You know, that's another thing with friends. Like, where are those two friends? Like, right? They were our friends like back then, like back in 4th grade. But I haven't heard from them since. It's so crazy. Like some friends grow with you. Like Vanessa grew with us, and now we're talking to you like 20 years later. But other friends kind of just like. You lose contact with them.
I think the concept of friendship is interesting because it's like you can loosely. I think I was thinking about it. You can loosely define it as being like someone who you like have a positive relationship. Like you were saying, loyal. Maybe someone who shares your struggles with you and shares in your success is someone who you can hang out with, freely feel like yourself, and you have fun with. But I think there's like certain levels. There's like. Maybe you have a level 1 friend. It's like, okay, I kind of know them. I get a video with them. Like maybe 1, 2, right. It's like maybe I wouldn't go to your birthday party. You know, maybe I wouldn't. Oh, this sounds really bad. I was like, maybe I would just like write a Facebook like, oh, I hope you get better if you're in the hospital. I wouldn't actually visit you. That's like a level 1 friend. Then you have maybe like a level 5 friend who's like, oh, this is my best friend. We're gonna hang out. If somebody want to square up, we're gonna fight. We're gonna. I'm gonna beat someone up. No, I'm not inciting violence. I'm sorry.
No, but that's true. Like I have friends who would back me up. You know, like who would beat someone up if someone beat me up. You know.
I mean, like from what I experienced overall, people that you encounter who are people that you meet beforehand who you still connect from, for example, compared to high school or elementary school. Even though you lose contact with them eventually, you know they're still there for you, even though you're not physically in contact. So
I read something like that. True. It's like there's some friends that even if you don't talk for a year, you can still meet up with them, and it's like you never left or talked, never stopped talking.
Oh my god, yeah. Like for example, like I think she was like episode 10, but Michelle, she's like the aspiring lawyer for our guests, like for listeners who might be wondering who that is. basically, she's like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what is wrong with my lips. I probably need
You need
water.
chapstick.
I need
I need
chapstick.
water.
But like we're like best friends, and I haven't seen her in like I don't know how long. But like we're still like we keep in touch. We send each other memes almost every day, and then like when we get in person, it's like all right, we're back in town. Let's go.
Yeah, I remember. I think I was coming out of a class in Steinway, and I bumped into the three of you plus the two of
I
you plus
remember
Michelle.
that. Like we
Yeah.
just ran into each other on in our neighborhood, Steinway.
And I
That
haven't, yeah, and I haven't seen her since that encounter. But the last time I saw her before that was when I graduated. So
Great. Small world. I mean, talk about long-lasting friendships. So look, we were covering all the good things about friendships. We're thankful for all the people who stood by our sides, right? All three of us. But how about the bad friends? Like, what constitutes for a bad friend? Can a friend even be bad, or would they even be considered a friend?
No, I mean like first you got to look at the first type of friend that we're gonna get here. The what do you
The
call them?
-2 level.
You know what?
It's
I'm
on a
gonna call them. I'm gonna call it negative.
Archangel.
Maybe I'm
friend.
gonna start with -5. The snake. This is
Ooh.
the type of friend who pretends they're your friend, and it turns out they're not your friend. They've been telling people your secrets. They've been behind your
Oh.
back, and they leave you high and dry,
And then
they're
bite
gone.
you. They bite you with their
Mhm.
venom. Yeah.
Good Lord knows how many times I've run into people like that, and then they
Like-
gaslight me into thinking I'm the one who was
You
crazy.
know, in college, I had this friend who we would hang out. Like, she would come to my room, we'd eat Cheerios out of a peanut butter jar. Long story. She would like call me ugly. She would say, "Oh, you don't have to worry
I
about
know
walking
her.
out at night because you're ugly. No one's gonna want to mug you." And I'm like, "That's
I
not
mean-
what-
So
I'm like,
rude.
that was so toxic." And
I mean, have you guys encountered anyone that used you to get somewhere?
yes,
Yeah, definitely.
yes. Oh, we had this one friend in, well, quote unquote, friend in high school. We helped her win to become like president of the National Honor Society.
Vice president.
To win vice
Oh,
president.
wow.
We even like filmed a campaign video for her, and she won because of our video that we made for
Right.
her. And she stopped talking to us. She stopped.
It was so
wow.
weird. I was like, what the heck?
How about you, Vanessa? Have you had a friend who used you like that?
I mean, like I guess it's hard to explain because I never really encountered those people, but the only people that I mostly encountered was people picking on me constantly. I want to call them exactly a friend, but just being put on constantly. That's
Oh,
that's the only thing I've experienced. That's it.
horrible people from like
Peers.
your days, right?
Yeah, peers. Yeah,
Bullies. You know, we should make a separate episode about that bullies.
yeah,
And
About
for all the
bullies?
bullies listening out there, please stop. It's not nice. Like,
yeah.
No,
Like,
bullying's
please
not
get help.
cool.
I mean, that's an episode for another day. So
Yeah.
I will save my thoughts and energies for that. But
Yeah, right.
I'm sure you had friends with you during those times that helped you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And that's what friends are for.
I
That's
mean, like,
what friends are for.
I had a very small little friend group back in elementary school. So, like obviously you guys had like what David, Loriana,
Memories.
so like it was, but it's always funny.
Oh, I
Like,
shouldn't say his last name. I'm not saying anything bad though. I mean, hi David King, if you're listening. Go ahead.
but anyway, it's always funny though. Like I was never really good at making friends in my year, but we are all a year apart. So I think it was easier for me to make friends in the younger grades.
You know, I can relate. Like most of my friends were either older than me or younger than me. I never really had too many friends that were my age.
Yeah, same.
Weird. How about you?
I mean, I have very few people that I still keep in touch with that I have seen since MPB.
Right, since your younger days. I feel like
Right.
most people are like that. I think when you're in elementary school, you kind of just talk to people out of convenience because they sit next to you or because
Right.
they're near you, but like
Yeah.
you don't really have anything in common outside of school. Ooh, how about that? School friends. It's like you guys talk in school, but then outside of school, you have nothing in common. Have you ever had friends like that?
Oh, for sure.
I think I had one.
Like you just talk to each other like, hey, what's the math homework? Or I hate this teacher.
No,
I hate the school.
Like even in college, I'll have someone who's like my lab partner. We basically like hang out almost like every day. And after the lab class is done, we never talk again.
It's
Basically,
sad.
like we maybe follow each other on Instagram, but that's about it.
Oh my God.
Oh wait, Instagram friends, social
We're
media
changing
only
topics so
friends.
quickly.
But
but-
it's still on brand though. We're still talking about the same thing regardless.
Like, have you ever had friends that like you follow each other on social media but you never talk?
I don't think I had that experience.
There's like actually it was so weird. There was this
Wow.
one girl in college who she followed me and I kind of vaguely knew her because someone else knew her. So I followed her back. We did not actually get to talking. So we had the same class like my junior or sophomore
That's
year.
awkward. Hashtag
And that's the
awkward.
first time we ever talked in person. And it was like, oh my God.
Yikes.
I mean, I don't think I've encountered someone like that before, but I do make friends like who I don't know, like outside my social group, but I meet via like social media. Like for example, Selena Alvarez, the one of the guests that we interviewed. She actually found me on Instagram.
Really? I thought you found her.
No, she found me.
Oh,
And we started chatting, and eventually
Among Us or something.
right. We eventually like hung out more, like gaming wise a little bit, and we eventually like supported each other since we're both dancers. So
wow. And then she was on our show, thanks to you, and we interviewed her. And now we're supporting each other's creative works.
Yeah, Selena is such a very talented young lady. So
through social media, I don't think I've ever made friends through social media like that. That's really interesting, Vanessa. So you're not just limited to the people that you know in person, because you've met this girl, amazing girl, through Instagram.
I mean, like one of my goals probably for like hopefully once COVID settles down even more is probably me taking one of her classes in New Jersey. So hopefully that's gonna happen.
Oh, that's so fun. That is awesome. I mean, I tried making friends online once. I made friends playing a game. I was playing Toontown, and I made some friends from Boston and Kentucky or Kansas, one of those, and they ended up being really toxic.
They were awful.
They like out of like nowhere, they started just like being mean and like bullying like this minor that was in our friend group.
I wouldn't trust those gaming.
I know there's so many toxic people, especially with gaming. People are such different people online. It's crazy.
Like I was like, I hate to say it, but I was one of those like role players on those computer role players. I was one of them.
What do you mean? Tell us more. Spill the beans.
I don't know. So like, for example, different people okay, so there's a site called Gaia Online, right? Where people can create their own avatar or stuff like that, and then eventually create their own story. It can be either a fan fiction based off a movie, or for example, Pixar, Disney, anything like that, and create their own storyline. And people portray their own characters, like OC out, like OC means like OC is like meaning
The
like
character, right?
original character, right?
Yeah.
So we portray our own version of a character. It could be like a child of a Disney character.
Oh! So it's kind of like
I'm lost.
It's kind of like, have you seen Descendants on Disney?
Right, exactly.
So it's kind of like that, but not like official. It's kind of like on the website called Gaia, like something.
Yeah,
like,
people make their own stories.
Fan
fiction, exactly.
Like those like fan fiction stories that people make about Harry Potter.
Yeah, it can be anything.
Rated G or rated E for everyone.
Yeah, they make their own graphics, stuff like that. But it was interesting.
So you made like friends through that?
Yeah, a little bit, but I wasn't not very close. But I had some friends on there. But I don't know, now that those kind of websites are getting a little bit outdated, unfortunately. So
yeah, they're pretty outdated.
Well, there's new ways to make friends. You know, I was looking up online because like, you know, I'm out of college and I feel like it's harder to meet people outside of college, and people are like, you should go on meetup.com and like join groups, and I'm like, that sounds like the scariest thing ever, joining online meetups.
I've tried like a couple of these like friend making apps or like websites or groups or whatever.
Bumble.
I have not really found them to be helpful.
It's weird.
Yeah. And especially because like it's harder to fake yourself in person. I don't know. You never know what's real and what's not. You don't want to give yourself
like
away
dating,
to someone who doesn't want to.
People can like put
it
up
is
fake
like
profiles
dating, yeah.
online. People can look cooler online, but then when you meet them in person, they look different, and like
that's true.
They can't talk the same as the way they look, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But look, the three of us are still friends, thank God. You know, through the ups and the downs, but that's part of friendships, right?
I agree. People like we all have our own struggles. People fight eventually.
Yeah. Siblings fight, parents fight, everyone fight.
Yeah. I think I'll be honest with you. I think out of all my friends right now, I think I'm the closest to the two of you, honestly. So.
Oh, you too. Like honestly, honest to God, I don't got many friends. Ooh, I got this one friend from college. Listen. I got a story. I got this one friend from college that I thought was pretty chill and cool, right? Like I thought we was close, And then I like texted her like, hey, let's hang
Oh
out.
my god, I hate this. I hate her.
I texted her, hey, let's hang out. It's your birthday. I want to take you out. Let's hang out. And she's like, no, I'm so busy with school. I have finals this week. So I'm like, okay, next week. So I texted her.
I thought you were gonna talk about someone else.
Oh, it is that person.
No, someone else.
Then I texted her next week and I was like, hey, is it still like your finals are over? Let's celebrate finals and your birthday. And she says, oh, actually, I'm so busy with school. I won't be free until the end of the semester. So I'm like, you know what? She's studying science and medical stuff. She's probably busy. But then on social media, I see her hanging out with other people each week. Each week she's going out with other people. And I'm like, I thought you were busy until June.
I thought she's avoiding you.
That's definitely shady.
So that's why I was like, fake friend. Fake.
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
And like these same people kind of go like, oh, I just get anxious or whatever. But I feel like, yeah, you can be anxious, but that doesn't mean you're not an asshole, you know? Having a mental health disorder doesn't excuse you from being an asshole. You can still be an asshole and depressed, you know?
Vanessa, were you saying something earlier? I feel like I cut you off while I was...
No, I think I was agreeing with you. Yeah, I think I was agreeing with you.
No, I wanted to say there was the other person. You were like, you were so sick in bed. And that one.
I got a spicy one, Vanessa, toxic friendship. So there's this other one. In college, I got really sick because I smoked hookah with some people and I had like a deathly ill. And my temperature was like above 100 degrees. It was like 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm like shivering in bed. I'm dying and I'm like overheating. And then I texted this girl like knocked on my door to see if I'm okay. And I'm like, hey, thanks for checking in. Like, I'm good, but I could release Tylenol. I'm too sick to go down. I have no more Tylenol in my room because, you know, I've been taking it like crazy these past few days. Do you have any? And you know what she told me? Well, I'm like high fever and dying. Oh, get your own Tylenol. Tylenol is expensive. And mind you, she lives right across the hall from me. And she was telling me, get your own Tylenol, blah, 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 blah. Tylenol's so expensive. And I'm like, I'm dying in bed and you can't even get me Tylenol. And you live right across the hall from me. But I had another friend who came from her other building while she was with a guy. They were cuddling. She woke up like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning and she came from her other dorm to give me pills to make me feel better. So that's what a good friend would do.
Yeah.
That was a fake friend.
Thankfully, you had that person to help you.
I know. I'm sorry I talk too much. You guys share stories.
No, you're good.
There is like... You know, I tried to see the best in other people, but I think in life, and even sometimes this happens to ourselves, but we just got to be self-aware. There's just a lot of people who are accidental assholes. They don't know that they're being awful people in some ways or that they're negatively affecting them, but they just do it. And sometimes it's because of personalities not matching up. Other times it's just because maybe they're accustomed to a way of life that they think is the real world, but really it's just being rude. Things like that. But like people, and then there's some people who are just downright awful. And that's kind of the reason that I don't like having a lot of friends or a large group of us. I just want a small pocket of people I can talk to, and that's that. Because you know what the biggest thing is? The one person people forget about. They forget that they need to make friends with themselves. Most people, they are enemies with themselves or strangers with themselves. And then they try to look for that comfort in other people. I mean, this has happened to me too.
This is a scary topic.
They try to look for the comfort in other people. Guess what? Those other people aren't going to make you feel better about yourself. That's coming from you. You got to make yourself feel, you got to feel good about yourself, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with what you said, Joerenz, about like looking at the best of people, like the personality wise, like you're not one to judge regardless, right? Like I agree with that, because when I was younger, I was never one to hold a grudge. I would always give friends of mine second chances, even though they didn't earn it, because like I don't know, because one, again, I had a very, very little friend group. I didn't want to lose the people that I have, the little circle that I had. So regardless, even they didn't really fully respect me, or did they earn my friendship, I still gave them a second chance regardless.
Second chance. I mean, it's always important to give second chances. But what do you think about third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th chances?
That's what I'm getting at. Like, second chance ended up going like 5, 10, more than that.
Right.
So like, I don't know.
I mean, isn't there that quote? It's like, first time you do something to me, shame on me. Second time, shame on... No. First time you betray me, shame on you. Second time you betray me, shame on me. Because I gave you...
But the thing is, also, at that age, we were also sick, so naive, so young. So I don't... So we were still like getting the hang of everything too. So
I agree. As kids, sometimes you don't know what the best things to do.
Right.
You learn through life.
That's actually really interesting that you said that, because like I'm the opposite of you. When I was a little kid, I immediately hold grudges against people, and I'm incredibly unforgiving. Like I've worked on that. Even now, I'm still kind of unforgiving though. But um,
I would
so
know.
basically, it's like people I should have given a second chance to or seen the better side of, I did it, and I just shut them out completely. I was like, I'm done with you. You made
Really?
one mistake and you're out.
You never give people chances?
Almost never. No, I
Why?
wouldn't forgive people.
Is that part of your childhood trauma?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Gotta go into therapy. We can have, you know what we should do? We should
Therapy
invite a
capsule.
therapist into Talk Capsule to talk, and all three of us are talking as a group to that.
We'll have like a free session with them.
No, but seriously, that was the kind of kid that I was. Like I just wouldn't. I felt like if somebody shows that side is always going to exist there and it's not going to change. But the truth
that
is,
makes sense.
people can change, though. It's rare, very rare. Most people don't change. But
You know what?
some people deserve that chance, you know?
When it comes to people changing, sometimes I feel like people just become more of who they really are.
That's true. Yeah, I can actually agree with that because me telling my friends like I can never tell them no. So like, no, and that actually transitioned all the way to high school. So, like for example, I want to go out of topic for 1 second because
Go for it.
actually also led into teachers as well. Because, like for example, me being in a literary magazine or dance for Miss Perfumo.
Shout out to Miss Perfumo.
She's a really cool English teacher who taught me.
Yeah. So, whatever she asked me, I could never say no. Could never. So
that her voice. Vanessa, darling, can you be my dance, darling? Darling.
No, so yeah, so she was someone that I highly respected. So it plays a part of who you're really close to, regardless. It can be teachers who you're close to or friends overall. So
that's true. And hey, you can also be friends with your teachers.
So yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Trying to.
You can be friends with your teachers.
This is another thing that I think young people struggle a lot with. Age. It's like they don't like being friends with like let's say like if you're in like 12th grade, you don't want to be friends with like a third grader, but you can be friends. Or for example, if you're in, maybe some people don't think they can be friends with their parents, or they can be friends with their teachers, or maybe that old lady down the street who always waves hi to you.
I worked in a nursing home, and trust me, old people make really great friends.
Mm-hmm.
They have so much advice to give you. Like,
we have an episode coming up. Y'all don't know her yet. Joyce Hockman. Oh, I love her. Shout out to you, Joyce.
She's living the retired life.
Aw.
But yeah, like friends are not boundaried or not closed off by gender, by age, by race. You can be friends with anyone. Doesn't matter, as long as someone is good to you and they give you Tylenol when you're really sick. It can be.
And they're always there for you, regardless.
Yeah, totally.
Wait, I just remembered another type of friendship. Okay, I mean, I'm an atheist, but so like I don't really know about this question. I don't know how I would answer it, but some people also have like a friendship with a higher being, a God, like friendship with God.
Ooh,
or Jesus.
I mean, to each their own. You know, if you believe in that, then yeah. Personally, I would find it hard to be friends with someone, you know, who you're believing is real, but you can't see them. But to each their own. Everyone's entitled to believe what they want to believe.
I agree with that, actually.
Yeah. Oh, friends.
Oh, speaking of which, I actually wanted to address this today. So a few maybe like a week back, we got like a comment asking what happened to our friend Monica, because as you all know, there were 4 of us working on Time Capsule, and you might have noticed recently that most of the promos only contained the 3 of us. To make a very, very long story short, Monica decided to move on to other projects, you know. All the best to her, to what she wants to do. And Time Capsule's gonna keep going. You're probably gonna see still some episodes with like Monica still in them.
But keep tuning in each week for more interviews, inspiring interviews of people from all over the world with different lives. And we hope to keep continuing our mission in this project, and just hopefully impacting one life, one person at a time.
I agree with that, and we wish Monica the best for whatever she pursues next. So
yeah. And you know, things are always going to change. That's the thing about friendships and working with people. Things always change. Change is not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you change to grow, and that's completely okay. The toxic friendships. Okay, so No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
you know what?
Can we talk about
No,
the good? I feel like we're talking
wait,
too
wait,
much
wait. No,
negative
no,
friends.
No,
We haven't talked about
good.
the bad friendships. We've been talking about great friendships this whole time, finding
Shout out
yourself.
Miss Tylenol girl. That was
No, that
toxic.
was just some of them. But like, we should into the other types of toxic friends because there's a couple of them. We talked about the snake. Next, the ghost. This is the kind of
ghost.
friend, like I had this in college. Like there's this friend, like, hey, you hang out for like a few, maybe a month, and you're like, hey, we're great friends, whatever. They disappear for the next 5 months. You text them, not a trace of them.
Ooh.
Don't hear from them. Don't know what happened. And maybe they died for all you know. Then you see them like 3 months, like after maybe you see them a year later, and they're back, and you're like, hey, what's up? And you're like, where did you go for a year? Why didn't you
Can you
answer
even
anything
call
I
those
wrote?
friends though if they just disappear from your life without a trace? I mean, I get it. People go through things, but then friendship is a two-way street. You have to be 50-50 in a friendship. And if someone can't meet you halfway, it's not a friendship.
I mean, can a friend be an acquaintance? I guess I don't know.
Acquaintance is like below friend, right?
No, I would say acquaintance is like someone you know. So it's like if you go to like I don't know, if you go to the supermarket,
Or
there's just
cafe.
always this really nice butcher named Gary, and then you guys say like, "Hey Gary, can I get a pound of pork today?" You and Gary are kind of acquainted. Now, like if Gary starts telling you stories about his family and his kids, maybe you guys start becoming
I guess acquaintance
I'm friends
is when
with
you
Gary
just,
the butcher.
I guess acquaintance is just when you know someone and like you just know them on a shallow level. But an acquaintance wouldn't know someone's life story. I would think.
I mean, I guess that's. I would say probably acquaintance is like the first level, I guess.
Yeah, right. That's how friendships start off, right? I mean, I'm sure when I met you, we weren't talking like this, probably, right? The first time, it probably took a while to open up. I mean, that's how most friendships are. Most people, yeah. What's the next kind of bad friendship that you want to bring up?
Okay, so
you got the snake, the ghost. What's next? The barracuda,
the mummy.
Mummy.
So this is the friend. It's kind of like maybe you guys stop talking a while, then all of a sudden they resurrect from the dead, and they are a different person.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, let's say you were friends with someone and you were friends with someone cool. It's summer vacation. When you come back to school, they're a different person and they are not talking to you anymore.
Oh my God.
They transformed.
I feel like I've met people like that in high school. It's like after summer vacation, they become different people and you're like,
who are you?
And they just stop talking to you, or like they start hanging out with other groups. Like, have you experienced that, Vanessa?
Okay. The only reason why I'm not talking is because when I was young, I was very quiet. So I was the quiet one. So I didn't really.
Well, like I've seen that with people. It's like they become different people, like over the vacation, like even over winter break or over summer vacation, and it's like they stop talking to you. It's like, what?
It's almost like, who are you? Was I even friends with you? Who was that? Who was that a month ago?
So they acted one way like before the summer, and then after when school starts, they acted completely different.
It's like they go through like a phase like during the summer that no one knew about. I don't know.
That's interesting.
What's another bad friend? I mean, there's so many different kinds of toxic friendships.
Oh, I have another one. So this is the person. This is the kind of friend I like to call the toilet. What? This person is full of shit. That's what it is. That's what it is.
This person do to you?
So this person, they're always talking trash about people. They say a lot of nasty stuff. Then they leave. Then they're gonna talk trash about you. Ooh. All they like to do, they're basically like MTV. They're just here to spread the gossip around.
Ooh.
And they think it's funny. Like,
yeah, their friends like talk shit about you behind your back. Like, look, this is a lesson for everyone. If someone talks shit to you about someone else, just know they can do the same thing to you.
That's true.
If someone treats someone else badly, they can treat you just as badly or even worse.
Like, it's one thing to vent. It is another thing to be like gossipy, malicious and stuff like that.
Like, oh my God, did you hear about this person?
Yeah,
I heard she never showers.
Yeah, I would never associate myself with negative people. I feel like if you're surrounding yourself with negative people, you physically will feel drained.
Oh yeah. And then the final person I'm gonna go over, I think there's more out there, but this is the final one I have on my list. This one is called the puppet master. This is that person who, like, they're gonna keep secrets from you. They're not gonna tell you anything, but they're like secretly manipulating the scene behind you. So it's like maybe you failed your math test, but guess what? The other day they kept texting you to come over. You never got to study for your math test, but they knew you had it. They just wanted to hang out with you.
Right. Oh my God, I had friends like that too in college.
Yeah, I think I had some encounters of that.
It's like they know I like to work out. They know I want to keep myself fit and be healthy. But then every day they would encourage me to order food and drink alcohol. And I'm like, I can't keep drinking every day. I'm trying, and they're like, don't go to the gym. Don't go to the gym. Drink with us. Eat with us. And I'm like,
No, and here's the funny part. Once you fall, like let's say like you stop working out and you get a little chubby, they'll start making fun of you for being
Yeah.
chubby. And that's the stupidest
Toxic
thing.
friends. I swear to God, in college, I felt like I met a lot of toxic people. That's why I'm so thankful that the three of us are like together, like we're like a triangle.
Yeah,
Because
I
there's
agree
a
with
lot of
that.
bad people out there that
No,
like
there are
mess
so
you
many
up.
like
I mean, the only toxic people that I've dealt with is because okay, I'm not gonna. I'm trying not to go into the topic of bullying, but as a young, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I have a small stutter whenever I speak, and because of that, peers of mine would always constantly pick on that little flaw that I have. So
People can just be so cruel sometimes.
yeah, so
yeah,
regardless, I find those people very toxic.
Well, you know
Regardless.
what, Vanessa? Joke's on them because look, you're hosting a podcast now, and you don't let that get in the way.
That's true.
How you want to speak and express yourself.
you joined a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
What are they gonna say? What are
Did
they gonna
those bullies
say?
join a beauty pageant? No.
Well, certainly I've changed. I've changed a lot since I was in
Uh,
elementary school. So
we'll dedicate a whole episode to that because I think that we need to get your voice out there because I'm sure there's other people out there with a stutter who are being bullied and you can inspire them to do something
Right.
like this.
I
Right.
don't mind that at all. I would love that actually.
And maybe we'll find those bullies and send them a CD of the interview or the
Wait,
episode.
you know, I actually thought about that as an episode idea, like inviting people that we've either fought with or had as like they bullied us, and inviting them on for a conversation.
That would be awkward. You'd be like, you bullied
Oh my god, that would be awkward.
I'll be a little bit awkward because I mean they follow me on social media. I'm not one to cause spite, so
Yeah, let's just keep Time Capsule peaceful. I think
Oh,
we're here.
yeah.
Look, we're here to tell stories of the 21st century. We're here to, you know, to tell other people's stories, and let's keep it peaceful. Unless people want to pick a fight with us, that's a different.
we're not here to cause drama. But
Once they cause it first.
No, but you know, one of these days we gotta interview ourselves too.
that's true. We
I was
did.
actually thinking like I would pre-record myself asking questions, then I would pre-record myself answering the question so it looks like I'm interviewing myself, and then pre-record myself reacting to my own
Sound crazy.
comments. I thought it would be funny.
That could be a blooper,
Friends
Joerenz.
with yourself.
No, wait. That's the last type of friend. I gotta talk about this type of friend.
Okay, go Madea.
This
Let's
friend.
talk about Medea's quotes.
Well, we'll get into Madea after. Let me.
How long
So
is this
this-
going? We're like at 20. We're like at 30 minutes now. Hurry up.
So this last kind of friend I'm gonna get in today. This friend I am gonna call the black hole. This kind of friend, everything centers around them and they suck you in. It's all about them. So you want to go ice skating? Nope, you're giving everything up. You got to go and do whatever they want to do only. And if you don't do it, you're the worst person in the world. You're a bad friend and
Oh,
you're this and
God.
that. Those type of people, awful.
I agree. Oh, and one last thing. There's the friend that only talks to you when none of their friends want to hang out with them.
Mm.
That's another toxic friend. I had one friend like that in college, and she would not hit me up. She would only ask me for lunch if all her other friends said no. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm not a last resort friend.
I'm gonna call that the seagull because have you noticed seagulls when they're with the flock, they're like flocking together. And then like when it's just them alone, they're gonna hop up to the human. Hey bud, give me some food. You got some chips there? Squawk.
I agree.
No, but actually, that speaking of seagulls, that reminds me of a scene from Finding Nemo.
Yes.
Mine.
What did they say again in Finding Nemo?
Mine.
Mine.
And then when they're alone, you got no food.
No, and then in that same vein, there's also those type of people where like when they're with a group, they're like big, badass, different people. And then when they leave, when they're not with their group, with their posse, they're like different people.
People are
Like,
so
shrimp up.
complicated. You know what? Like, I'd rather just be friends with my dog.
I would.
Seriously, I'd rather just
honestly.
hug my dog and like be friends with him. I feel like
No, because
he'll never bully or harm me.
that's the thing. Animals are not that complicated in general. Like
No.
you know, there's some complexity to them, but they're pretty straightforward. People are not. Animals don't betray you. People's do. You know.
But yeah, animals are like literally there for you regardless. They're extremely loyal.
I know. You know, that's the word, the L word. Not loser, but loyal. And dogs are loyal. Animals are loyal for the most part. Except cats. I don't like cats. But, no, it's true. I heard it. If you die, a cat will eat your body. A dog will die with
No,
you.
I don't think they would. I feel like if they, I don't know. You're not.
They savages. But anyway.
I mean, I grew up with a husky as a little girl.
Oh, I remember that
so-
you love huskies and their blue eyes, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I think this was a great
Wait,
talk
wait,
capsule.
wait,
Oh,
we
we're
have
not
to get
finished?
into that last bit.
Wow.
So the one of the best ways to think about friendship, and this is I think something everyone should know. everyone. I really mean everyone. You gotta watch that video with Madea.
She is the goddess of
Now,
advice.
yeah, I don't know. Madea is now a retired Tyler Perry
Oh,
character.
she's retired
Oh
now?
Yeah,
wow,
he retired. Doesn't want to do Madea anymore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's sad, but you know we can still look at old
She
clips.
gives a lot of advice, and one of them is like she compares friendships to a tree.
Yep. So
Right.
in life, you're gonna have friendships compared to a tree. So in life, you're gonna meet a lot of
Leaves, branches, something like
Oh.
that.
So in life, first you're gonna meet a lot of leaves. So the role of a leaf is when there's like there's a lot of leaves. It
Seasons.
gives you shade, and so like you can sit under the tree. You got a lot of shade, and then when the seasons change, they're up and gone. No more leaves on the tree because they die and all that. But in this case, they leave you.
They change when the
And
seasons
so
change.
that's what happens. These kind of friends are wishy-washy. Enjoy them for the time that they're there, and then when they leave, they leave. Goodbye.
And then there's the branches.
And then don't try to hang on to the leaves. Let the leaves fly away. Next, we got the branches. The branches, they make you think you can climb the tree, that it's nice and sturdy. You step on the branch, the limb breaks, and you're going to fall.
Ooh.
In life, there's the branches. These people, they're going to act like, hey, bud, I got your back. But when life goes down,
when life gets tough and hard,
guess what?
the branches break.
They're out. They're out. They're going to leave you high and dry all alone by yourself.
And what are the most important friendships?
But the most important friendship is the roots, because the roots of a tree hold it and keep it firmly together. And so in life, you're probably only going to have a few roots, but if you can count even on one hand, just even one or two friends, or one or two roots, you're blessed for life.
I agree with that.
You're our root, Vanessa.
Aww.
And then the last thing is that sometimes in life, there are leaves who are trying to grow into becoming roots. And you just got to watch those people and watch them on their journey, because sometimes people can change. That's very rarely, super rare, like lottery kind of rare.
I think, but you're right. It is very rare. But there's also a quote that I guess can also relate to this: is whoever you're with, if it's not meant to be, they'll obviously break away from you. But if it's meant to be, they would always come back.
Exactly. And then in life, you got to learn who you're going to hold on to, and then who you have to let go of. You can't hold on to the wrong person, and you have to make sure you don't let go of the right people either. You gotta,
yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of quotes overall, like with that too. It's like I feel like overall, it does more damage if you hold on than letting go. So.
That was deep, Vanessa. Oh my God, you're like Aristotle. Damn, it hurts more if you hold on than letting go.
Yeah.
No, that's deep, and it's that I think that especially applies to abusive relationships, where like staying in there. No, you got to get out.
Sure, you're with someone, but like
it can go. Yeah, that can go towards personal struggles. Excuse me, or overall friendships.
Oh
so.
yeah.
And remember, the first person that you got to please is yourself.
I hear that.
If you're friends with someone and you feel disrespected, walk away. It's not a friendship.
That's another Madea thing she said. You should rather be friends with a puppy and a goldfish in the corner of your house than be with the wrong person. You don't want to. And I agree with that. I'd rather be alone sometimes than be friends with people I know I'm not gonna like, or people I know are not nice people.
Be content with yourself.
Like would I want to go to a movie theater and hang out with some people? Sure, but would I rather be in peace of my own company, not worrying about things, and just being by myself watching a movie? I don't mind that either.
But that's one thing I've learned with life. Like I worked in some places, like you get close to people when you work there, but then I realized some people are just there for a small time. Some friends are just there to hang out with, but some friends aren't forever.
Yeah.
Some friends like, hey, let's get a drink once in a while, but those are the kind of friends they are.
It doesn't make them bad people, but that's basically them. Yeah.
That's true.
And that's why you just need 1 to 5 roots in your life, and you'll be set.
And you're set.
Yeah.
It never hurts to focus on yourself too. So.
Yeah, I don't think people focus enough on themselves, but that's a conversation for another time, because this was about friends.
Yep, and we talk.
We'll have to get into ourselves another time.
Definitely.
Well, I think this is a great way to wrap up our talk capsule number 2 about friendship. I think that our viewers definitely got a lot out of talking about the good sides of friendships, but also the unspoken toxic parts of friendship that I think people don't talk about enough.
Exactly. So yeah, if any of you guys out there, if you have stories you want to share, or maybe you got some more monster types of classifications of friendships that we haven't touched on, let us know.
Let us know in the comments. Reach out to us on social media.
Definitely share a story with us. I would love to hear it, actually.
An encyclopedia over here. We got to have the entire classification.
This is our time capsule.
Yeah.
So Tune in every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Follow us on social media at TC Show 21. And we'll see you guys next time. Hope we enjoyed this talk capsule.
See you guys.
Bye.